Hi guys, it's Jess from Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a full spoiler-free series review for the Fallen MC series by Giana Darling. Alright guys, so for this video, I'm going to keep it completely spoiler-free. I'm going to go in the reading order of the books, and I'm just going to talk about the different characters, the different tropes, and then my overall feeling regarding each book. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram and Goodreads, both linked down below. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the Fallen MC series. All right, so first up we have Lessons in Corruption. So this is following Cressida and King. So Cressida ended up being married when she was very, very young. She was only 18 and she married an older gentleman that was friends of her parents. So she has not had a very happy relationship. And one day when she is leaving the grocery store, she sees this very attractive young man in the parking lot laughing, and she immediately realizes she wants more from her relationship. So she breaks up with her husband and ends up moving, getting a teaching job, and is just living life happily. Now one day when she's at a bar with some other teachers, she sees the guy she saw from the parking lot and immediately they hit it off. They have instant chemistry. Turns out that he is part of a motorcycle club and they start dating. So then September rolls around, a new school year starts, and Cressida realizes that the guy she's been seeing is actually going to be one of her students, and it goes from there. So this is student-teacher romance. I work in a school, so this was probably my least favorite of all the books, just because, I don't know, it's really hard for me to like a student-teacher trope. It just kind of weirds me out. I did end up really liking Cressida and King. Overall, solid read. Definitely not my favorite in the series, but worth checking out, especially if you're okay with the whole student-teacher trope. And next up, we have Welcome to the Dark Side. This is one of my absolute favorites. As you can see, I have a physical copy. This is an age gap romance. So this is following Zeus and Lou. Zeus is the head of the motorcycle club, and he's also King's father. I think I forgot to mention that. So when this young girl is at church one day, I think she's like 5 years old, there ends up being a shootout, and Zeus, who I think is 19 at the time, ends up saving her. So Lou ends up writing to Zeus the entire time he's in jail. He ends up going to jail for manslaughter because of that whole event. And Lou ends up getting diagnosed with cancer. So while she's diagnosed with cancer, she's writing this guy that saved her in jail, who is Zeus, and she calls him her guardian monster. And it's adorable, and they just kind of have this very cute like pen pal relationship until Lou gets a bit older and ends up meeting Zeus as an adult, and it goes from there. I loved this. I thought this was so good. Like I said, one of my favorites in the series. If you're okay with an age gap, you are gonna love this. Oh my goodness, so good. All right, and next up we have Good Gone Bad. So this is following Lionel Danner and Harley Rose. Harley Rose is the daughter of Zeus and then the sister to King, and she ends up having a relationship with a police officer known as Lionel Danner. So we find out that when Zeus went to prison, Lionel Danner's family actually ended up taking care of King and Harley Rose, and Harley Rose has always had a crush on Lion. So as they get older, they start to have feelings for each other. It also has like this whole like Romeo and Juliet type vibe to it. And then there is a BDSM Dom subplot going on. So overall, this is a very fun read. It's a lot of people's favorites in the series. Personally, for me, it's kind of low on my list, but definitely worth reading. Next up, we have After the Fall, which is actually following King and Cressida from book 1. It's just at a different point in their relationship. And I actually can't get into anything without giving away spoilers. Just know that this is the most emotional of all the books. This is probably my least favorite in the entire series. However, I still bawled my eyes out when I got to a certain part. So, oh my goodness, the emotions of this book, but definitely worth reading just to continue with the series. All right, and next up we have my absolute favorite in the series, and that is Inked in Lies. So this is the 4th book. This is following Lila and Nova. So Nova is short for Casanova. He is just this ladies' man. He owns a tattoo studio. He's amazing at tattoos. And his family ended up taking Lila in. So when she was younger, her father ended up being a drug dealer and ended up killing her mother in front of her. And Nova was there. He kind of tried to shield Lila from all of this, and then Nova's family adopted Lila and her brother. So this is kind of friends to lovers. Lila's always had this huge crush on Nova. I'm obsessed with their relationship. It is so good. There are some darker themes. Lila ends up going undercover to try to take down this like sex trafficking ring, and it is kind of dark. But overall, I love this book. It also has to deal a lot with family. We find out that Lila really loves Nova because Nova is the reason that she is part of the whole motorcycle club, and it's just good. So this was my favorite. I absolutely recommend it. So, so, so good. And last up, we have Dead Man Walking, and this is following Priest and Bea. So Priest is considered the sociopath of the MC. He is their hired killer, and he's very loyal, but also just has like no emotions and is very, very good at killing and torturing people. So then you also have Bea, who's the sister of Lou, who's married to Zeus, and she is just the personification of sweet, innocent, and happy. Her father, I believe, is her grandfather is a pastor, and she goes to church. She helps out with like youth groups, and she's just considered very sweet and innocent. However, she has a huge crush on Priest. And then one day when Priest is trying to go after someone who is like rival, is selling drugs, he ends up blowing up a car, and Bea ends up being in that car, and that kind of pushes them together. And then we find out that Bea is actually being stalked by a serial killer. So then Priest decides he is going to protect her, and it goes from there. I love this book. It was really good. Definitely the darkest in the entire series, but I love the whole serial killer thing. Bea ends up being part of a podcast that talks about like true crime, and it was really fun. It felt very different from the other books in the series, but I think it was actually done in a very good way. I really enjoyed it. So highly recommend. I love this series so much. And last up, we have Caution to the Wind. So at the time that I'm filming this video, this book is yet to be released. It is coming out at the end of April, I believe April 29th, and I cannot wait. So apparently it's following Axeman. I don't remember very much about his character, but I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. Like all the other books in the series, I'm just obsessed. So please, if you have not read the Fallen Men series, give it a try, especially if you like dark romance. It's so good. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Please let me know down in the comments below if you've read this series, which book is your favorite. I said this already, but I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye!